that in the second draft of the CDIP plan, I have put the painting and the security system in that, but go ahead with your request, I guess.
As far as the security system, we've only got one bid on that so far, so I'm not here to discuss it until we can get at least one more and hopefully a couple.
So you're saying it is possible to get, there are more than one source for that?
That's the difficulty of finding the next source. I've got one person that is to call me back yet, and I
Okay.
still have a couple others to call.
Okay, well that's
see.
fine. I kind of was led down the road that there really aren't other sources, so that's why.
And that's very possible because of the type of system that was
Okay.
installed,
All right.
meaning either you use the existing company that installed it, or you start fresh with a whole brand new system all the way through. So that's what we're trying to explore.
And the system that was quoted, this is not a statement, this is a question. The system that was quoted, does that include key,
Yes.
badge keys?
One on the south door.
One on the south door, okay. Okay. All right.
Does EF Roads do any of that? Our bid is from Williams, right?
Correct. Because that's another possibility I didn't think of.
Well, they put in, I think, some of our security cameras over there, didn't they? But they might, and they're kind of local, I guess they're in Kosciuszko, but
Yeah.
you might see if they would quote anything there.
So we're actually gonna sit back and wait on the courthouse security issue,
Correct.
and in the meantime, it's secure?
I believe as much as we, if I remember right, it was false alarms.
Yeah, the alarm, there's some kind of defect in the alarm due to the age, is what Williams has said. The motion, it'll pick up motion when there's not motion.
Okay, I just wanna make sure everybody's safe over there.
Yeah, I mean, all the panic buttons that are there,
Okay,
the fob they use to open the doors, everything else is functional.
okay.
You might, you say it picks up motion when there is no motion.
It just goes off, yeah.
You might check out the security guys.
Oh, check the individual guys, oh. Took me a second on that one, I'm
That's
sorry.
all right.
I got you. All right. So are you here to discuss the?
Yeah, the other would be the cell block shower painting project, and if you remember back in October, we met, it was Chair Busco School for the meeting, and I presented Premier Coatings as being the one that I thought was the company to go with. You guys had a lot of excellent questions that none of us could answer at the time, and I tried to get those answered and included it in on the new pack of information. So I'm just here to discuss what we found, the answers that we got, and to see whether or not we want to proceed, or if I need to go back and talk with them further.
And I commend you, you did truly address what we had discussed. I know what I did with that. Those were the issues, and I guess in the reading that I did, I was comfortable that the issues were addressed. It's not a very old company, but from what I read, recommendations were awfully good, so.
None of the four jails or establishments that's used this company, as the installation or the painting hasn't been done very long, a year or less. So there's not a lot of time to see how their warranty and that's going to hold up. But if you remember, one of the companies was either within the same hometown or the same county or something, and they knew the family, they knew the people, and said they were utmost reputable.
Okay.
You know, and I can only go on their recommendations.
So the work has not been done, then, is that right, or it has been, and we're awaiting, we're waiting to award the contract
Correct.
to
Yes.
them?
Yes.
Okay, do you fellas want to deal with that now? I'm thinking from the perspective of sending it to council or not sending it to council tomorrow. That's what I'm thinking of.
Well, he's gonna pay it out of his own funds, right? Or
Well,
not?
we discussed that, and then I think I presented to Jenny to put maybe just as a suggestion into the CEDA. We have, since we talked in October, we have spent a few $1,000s out of the misdemeanor fund for, since our population is up, we've needed extra clothing, bedding, mattresses, personal property, bags and things of that nature. So we've spent some, and we've got another project, a couple other projects too that we're looking at that we'll dip into that a little bit.
They have not had time. I literally just gave them the second draft of the seeded plan a few minutes before the meeting. They haven't seen it. It is Project 13 of the seeded plan. My thoughts were, again, we have to make a motion whether we want to send this on to council or not. We need to get that done. The funding, of course, needs to come from the council, but I had just opened up the thought, what about spending seeded money for this?
Right.
That's all I'm doing is opening that possibility up. So that's where that came from. But I think that we would need from this group a motion to either approve doing the project or not, and sending it to council for financial considerations.
The one thing that I would just like to present, that the misdemeanor fund has, the last we checked, taking out all the things that was been ordered but not yet paid, somewhere around $30,000, which in theory would be enough to pay for this project, but my preference would be to keep somewhere in the area of $8,000 to $10,000 in that particular fund, so that when we have issues that just pop up overnight that we need to take care of, I don't have to wait till a commissioner or council meeting to come to get the approval or find funding to do that with. I can just take care of it and get it done. So, in other words, if I could use about half of the cost to come out of misdemeanor, or half or 3/4, whatever number we can come up with, and then the rest of it from someplace else, or if you want to wait and see whether or not you approve it, we'll see it. Again, it's not a project that's got to be done tomorrow. It needs to be done, but not
Okay.
necessarily tomorrow.
Okay.
I would make a motion that we approve sending to the county council this project for the painting of the jail showers, and I guess you'll have to just work with the council on that to see if they're willing to work with you on the funding, and if not, then we'll have to deal with it through the seeded funds.
Well, he has suggested, he thinks half.
Yep.
He might be able to pay half, so I'm
That's
sorry,
good.
I'm
That's
out
good.
of order. I'll second the motion
Discussion.
with discussion.
There you go, discussion.
Thank you. Always screwing. But I would like to see the recommendation to the council for half coming out of the sheriff, and not more if needed, half out of the seat. Now, if the council's in a good mood and says they want to take it out of, this would apply for Cume Cap, wouldn't it?
It could, because it's a building, our Cume Cap's way down the, Cume
Okay.
Cap's way down.
So, see, get their feeling. We're going to meet in a session Wednesday morning. You would have information at that time.
Yep, I'll be back, I'll be
We
back
would
by
know.
then, yep. Mhm.
That way, maybe we could work out instead. I don't want the council to think we can spend all of it on from there. You know, we're putting a lot of money in seated, the old courthouse,
Yep.
roof on community corrections, maybe. Now we're putting money back
Yeah.
into the jail for showers. And, you know, as our chairman said today, you know, we need to look at what we're spending seated funds for, and if it's appropriate. There is one question, if I could ask. On their quote, it says, return to service is 24 hours. Water cleanup only for the first 7 days. are they gonna be done in 7 days? Or what does that mean, water cleanup? I don't.
What they're gonna do is come in stages. They're gonna come in and do a couple blocks, cause it takes a 24-hour dry time before they can put it back into use. So what they're saying with the water cleanup is, don't put any chemicals on it for the first 7 days. If you're gonna rinse it down, just rinse it down with plain water
Okay.
until after it's cured completely.
No soap or disinfectant.
Right, no soaps or disinfectants, it's just plain water for right now. It's got a built-in antimicrobial in the epoxy finish to resist the mold problems that we're having now and things like that. So,
And that is doable from your perspective, that's not an issue, just water only is not a problem from your
no, not for
perspective.
the, then they can put pretty much whatever they want to on after that 7 days.
All right, I misinterpreted that.
Any further discussion, I think we have a motion, second, any further discussion? And let me just make sure I've got this right. We have a motion, second, that we send this on to council tomorrow with a favorable recommendation, but recommend that half the money come from the sheriff's fund and half from seeded or wherever they choose. I think we should give them that as an option, but let them choose. Does that sound like the right motion? Okay, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Okay.
Thank you.
See you in the morning. All right.